Patience can be a virtue, but it's also fascinating how technology sometimes capitalizes on our impatience, creating what Dr. Joy calls convenience shackles in exchange for our face data. I can't wait for you to explain for all of us, what do you mean by convenience shackles?
Hi, I'm Brenda Darden Wilkerson, and welcome to another episode of Be the Way Forward. Since our talk on stage, the conversation around AI has only heightened. OpenAI replaced all the women on its board with men. And the New York Times list of who's who in AI featured 0 women. Hearing from Dr. Buolamwini always feels necessary and urgent. She helps us to understand the biases in AI, and this conversation has only become more relevant in the months since we spoke.
This question that you have about convenience shackles, I think about it when I'm in an airport, the line is long, the flight is near, the time is running out, and they point you over to some machine and say you can pass through. And in that moment, it's so tempting because of the context to just give in. But what we're not always thinking about is if we give very valuable data like our face data, our biometric data, our iris data now, right? What can happen with it, not just in the airport, but anybody else who might have access to that data. So earlier, at the Algorithmic Justice League, we did a campaign talking about the IRS's use of facial recognition for access to basic tax services. Again, it's meant to be convenient. Later on, we found out the third-party vendor they were using was actually scanning people's faces with suspected fraudsters. Why might this be problematic? We've seen time and time again misidentifications. The most recent one that still touches me is Portia Woodruff. She was arrested 8 months pregnant for a carjack. Do you know anyone carjacking 8 months pregnant?
Not me.
You know? And it happened in the city of Detroit, where already Robert Williams was falsely arrested due to a face recognition match. So that we're having this conversation in 2023 because some people think it's more convenient to use the biometric systems can have really grave and intense consequences. And she was actually having contractions in the holding cell. When they finally let her out, she had to be rushed to the emergency room. So you put 2 lives in danger. So when I see the expansion of facial recognition technologies, and I get the convenience. There's a difference between opening your iPhone or whatever other smart device you might have and then being caught up in mass surveillance. So I think it's really important that we don't let the convenience or the supposed convenience for some people distract us from what can happen with that extremely valuable data that is often being asked for us to surrender.
Turn on your facial recognition block. We're here to make a plan and can't nobody stop us.